Immediately after the Super Bowl, it's not always an easy task to get players from the game to appear on shows like this. Most of the players, of course, are either still in California or in no condition to appear on television. So to comment on Sunday's game and to talk about football in general, please welcome one of the stars of the Baltimore Colts between the years 1950 1962, Mr. Art Donovan, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope I can.
What's the matter? You're all right. Tell me, what position did you play for the Colts?
I was a defensive left tackle.
Uh-huh. And were you a pretty good ball player?
I don't know. Some of the people I played against thought I was lousy, and others thought I was good, and the newspaper people, they said you were good and bad. So I think the only way you can really judge how good you were or how bad you were by your peers.
Uh-huh.
If you meet fellas and they say, well, you were a good one, then you say, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
If they say lousy, I say, you don't know what you're talking about.
How long were you in the NFL? Was this
13 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And all with the Colts?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, you saw the game yesterday.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
And I guess the winning team, they each got $36,000 apiece. Is that
right?
Yeah. Now, how does that compare with the kind of money you were making?
After 13 years, my best salary was $22,000. I started off in 1950 as a rookie, and I was making $4,500. But there was a fellow from Muhlenberg College that played with me, and he played both ways in 50, and he made $4,000. So I thought I was doing very well.
Yeah. Boy. Now, do you have any kind of feeling that maybe the football that you were playing then, or the football players you were playing with and against, were tougher than the guys playing today?
It was a different kind of a game. When I started, you were a sissy if you wore a face mask.
Yeah.
And then after, because of my face, you didn't have to worry about, So
you got a good-looking face.
Well, thank you, David. I don't know. I think you better get your eyes examined.
No.
Well, anyhow, I got kicked in the face, and I got 56 stitches down here, and then I got under here, and I lost a few teeth.
Yeah.
And so I put the mask on. I said, the hell with them. If they think I'm a sissy, I'm a sissy. Yeah. So then everybody's got a mask on now, and now you can't even get your fingers in there anymore. Which we would never do in those days. No.
What? Now, you played both the offense and defense?
No, just defense.
Just defense.
Just defense.
Now, did you ever do anything dirty or untoward?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. And what kind of stuff? What was your skill or strategy?
My skill was, I guess, trying to get to the guy's eyes, do a lot of little things. Like we had a fellow named Bill Pellington, was a linebacker, and a guy was blocking on us named Bob Sinclair from the 49ers, and we knocked him down, and Pellington says to me, okay, kick him now, kick him. You got your chance. So I started to kick him, and he said, what are you doing? I'm just trying to make a living like you are. Yeah. So things like that went on all the time.
Yeah. But you played in the Pro Bowl several years.
I played 5 years in the Pro Bowl game, and I played on 2 championship teams, a 58 and 59 Colt football team, which I guess some of the Packers would say that they were a better football team. But I believe that the 57, 8, and 9 Baltimore Colt team maybe was the greatest football team ever assembled.
Sure.
Thank you. Somebody's from Baltimore here.
You knew Bobby Lane. You play with Bobby Lane?
Very well. I played with him and I drank with him.
Yeah. Now he has that reputation as a guy who enjoyed drinking. I don't know if he was like before the games or just for recreation.
I would swear to the Almighty that a couple of times on the way out of the stadium, passing him for the second half, I figured maybe he had a few shots at halftime.
Oh, really? I
said, Bobby, you're a little. He says, well, I got to sort of straighten up.
Yeah. Now, did you ever drink during a game, Art?
No, no. Heavens, no. After, yes.
After, yeah.
After.
But you would never go in the locker in halftime and maybe just to get the courage up?
Oh, no. We used to, right before the game started, the coach would give you the old pep talk.
Yeah.
And he'd say, okay, if you're not afraid, let's go.
Yeah.
So they'd push you out the door. That's, we had a coach, Weeb Eubanks, and he said we had to win this game. And he went on for about 10 minutes telling what we had to do. We had to punch and scrape and scratch and bite and kick. And they said, let's go. He said, but for God's sake, be careful.
how many championship games did you play?
Just two.
Just two.
Two.
And this is what Art looked like when he was suited up. This is a pretty... There you go. Yep, that man means business. What you mentioned? I mentioned Bobby Lane, and you also did you room with Don Shula?
Yeah, Shula and I and a fellow named Bill Pellington and Marquetti, we bought a home before we got married. Not us together, you know. We did get married to girls, and in 1955, Shula was a defensive back for us.
Now he always seems like a pretty straight, even keel, normal kind of guy.
But he isn't. No, none of us really are. I can't tell a lot of stories on it because he'd sue me. That's the type of guy he is.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Shula, you know, Shula down in Miami, he walks on water.
Oh, they
but
love him,
yesterday
yeah.
he missed a rock somewhere along the way. Well, anyhow, we're playing the Rams in Baltimore in 1955, and he was covering Tom Fears, who was a great end, is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was holding Fears, and Fears told him, Shula, don't hold me. About 2 plays later, Shula held him again. Dan Fears didn't hit him in a shot with an elbow, and he broke Don's jaw. So now Shula's out for the rest of the year. And the first day he gets back from the hospital, Pellington and I, Marquetti, we said, well, we'll stay in and babysit him for the night, and we'll cook him his dinner. All we could do was fry eggs real loose, you know. He couldn't eat anything, so we got him a straw and a glass, you know, and everything. And there's a guy who's 250, 270 pounds. We're cooking dinner for him, the eggs, and we go to give him the eggs, and Shula goes, yeah, stupid. So what's wrong? He said, you didn't scramble them loose enough. So go and cook your own meal, Shula. That's the type of guy he was.
Yeah.
He didn't like anything.
Yeah.
The best story about Shula is one of his assistants, his name is Carl Tassif. He's down there with him now. He played with us with the Colts. And we're out playing Green Bay and Milwaukee, and, you know, getting on the plane, they say, who's your roommate? You know, Spinny Donovan, okay. They say, Shula. Nobody answers, no Tassif. Here comes a cab up to the airport. Shula jumps out, and he's got a cabbie's hat on. And in the back is Carl Tassif, and he's got a package on now. Shula opens the door, and Tassif paid him the fare. Then he got on the plane. Now, where they got the taxi from, I don't know.
Oh, you mean these?
He stole the cab.
Stole the taxi cab. Yeah.
Sure.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, beauty.
What did you guys go to a lot of parties together, or?
Oh, that's what made it so good. We were always partying. I mean.
And what were those events like, Art?
Just drinking, you know. I can't, you know, we had a lot of good, clean fun.
Yeah.
You know. like some guys falling out the window or something
Really?
like that. Yeah. But they didn't really get hurt, you know, 280 pounds. I think the best story was playing the Rams out on the coast. And
now that must have been excitement for a team from the East Coast to go out to the West Coast where it was warm and sunny.
Warm. It was like 105 degrees on the Coliseum floor. You know, it's halfway down in the ground anyhow. And I had a weight problem. I had to weigh in 275 every Friday. So I weighed 278. And Weeb Eubanks, who was our coach, fined me $2,000. So he said, but right before the game, if you win, he says, I'll talk to you about your money, and I'll maybe give you the $2,000 bonus back. Well, in the second half, we bust the game wide open. They put a new quarterback in the Rams. I said, well, thank God he's going to run the clock out and everything's going to be okay. This guy gets the ball. He starts running all over the field, throwing 80-yard passes, and we're trying to catch him. And I'm screaming at him, and I couldn't caught him if he was on his knees. That's how tired I was. So finally, I went in the Rams huddle. And I said to the quarterback, look, you stupid jerk, you can't win, run the clock out. And he looked at me and said, drop dead. And I didn't know what to say to him. No. From our side comes Bracey, who's our defensive end. He hollers, Fatso, you're in the wrong huddle. and we got penalized 5 yards for me being offside.
It's like poetry. Fatso, you're in the wrong huddle. Now, Art, tell me about Y.A. Tittle. You played, was he always with the Giants?
No, he was with the Colts when I started. He was a quarterback with the Colts. Then he went out with the 49ers, then he came to the Giants. Tittle, you know, I have some stories. In fact, one time, he was the only guy making any money on the team at 50, and he and his wife invited us over for chicken dinner. And we said, swell, but he said, you have to bring your own chicken. They told me Tittle was tighter than a clam with lockjaw. That's how he just didn't spend any money at all. Van Brocklin, he was a quarterback with the Rams, and we played him one time, and they have these sophisticated defenses like they tell you about on television now, you know, what you do.
Sure.
So anyhow, they come out, we were strong left, and Szymanski, who was the linebacker, he hollered to me, move. And I moved, you see, and I said, well, he's wrong. I said, you move, and I moved back again. So after 4 moves, Van Brocklin, he called timeout. He said, now how the hell do you expect me to run a play against you guys, and you don't even know how to line up yourself? So, and we really did foul him up pretty good.
And what about the, what did I, was talking about this afternoon, you and Y.A. Tittle and a shower?
Well, there were about 5 of us, and we were staying at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, and we didn't, at those days, we
Kind of
didn't
a
have
dump,
any...
isn't it, that place?
Oh, what a place. They had a shave brush for $1,200, more than we were making.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we asked the guy if we could go swimming. He says, yeah, if you have your bathing suit, sure. You're members of the hotel. We didn't have any bathing suits. So we asked him if we could go in after hours, you know, nude, just go for a swim. So he said, you can't do that. But in the room, we had a big bath, big shower stall. It must have been 8 feet long and about 6 foot high. So 3 of them got in the shower stall, and we filled the tub up with water. Then the 3rd guy, he went over the top. And we're in there, we're having a great time swimming. And somebody hit the latch. Ba-da-boom, here goes all the water. It cost us $3,000 to have the place fixed.
Yeah.
That's why Tittle doesn't speak to me. He had to pay the bill.
Now, quickly, what did you think of the game yesterday?
Good game. I won $5 too, like the young fella did. I bet on Washington just because I thought Washington had a bigger, stronger offensive line than the Dolphins' defense, and they really deserved to win. They made a believer out of me. They've got a good football team.
Art, before you go, tell us what you're doing now. You're no longer affiliated with football, right?
I'm making money.
Uh-huh.
I'm finally, after 58 years, making a little bit of money.
Good for you, Art. How are you doing that?
My wife and I, we own a country club in Baltimore. She and I own it and operate it, and then I have a packaged goods store, and it's on a fringe neighborhood, and I think I'm going to get out of that pretty soon because the other day a guy came in, and he took out a billiard carrier, but he had a shotgun in.
Yeah.
And I looked at the barrel of the shotgun, and it looked like you were looking at the Lincoln Tunnel. And I said, that's the end of my store career.
So you own a liquor store and a country club.
Right.
You don't look like a country club kind of guy, you know? You just...
Well, how would you think you would look if you grew up in front of Mr. Goldberg's candy store in the Bronx, just like I am?
Well, you've done a fine job, Art. Nice meeting you. Art Donovan, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Cornelia Guest.